Hey everybody, welcome back to Thronebreaker. I figured before we get too carried away on all of these side missions, which could definitely happen, we can jump back to these at any opportunity. So we're going to head down towards here and see where this leads us. There's a puzzle on the way. There's a couple of things over on this side if we want to try and tackle those. And we'll just see what happens. We'll just go where the path takes us, or maybe not. We're going to jump into a puzzle right off the bat, so let's go. All right, rushing waters. Meave stood on the banks of Badger Run, a modest river with a strong current and dark reputation. Fishing boats overturned, clothes ripped from the hands of washerwives, children playing on the banks swept away in a flash. The locals have long suspected that something malicious resides underneath these raging waters. Eliminate all downers. Do not let any allies die. Hint, it takes just 1 damage to turn an even into an odd. Takes 1 damage to turn an even into an odd. Eliminate downers. Do not let allies die. Okay. Well. Let's see. So what is their ability? Every turn, on turn start, if this unit's power is even, switch rows and damage all units on the opposite row by 2. So the way that this sounds is, so if we left this as such, these guys in the front would go to the back, and they would damage all units on the opposite row by 2. And these guys would come to the front, deal all damage to the opposite row by 2, which would be this row. So what we need to figure out is, how do we get damage in on these guys and keep everybody alive? We just need to not let people die. Crushing Trap. This is new for us. So it's got Restraint, cannot target bosses. Okay. Spying, so we can play it on the opposite side of the battlefield. And this sets the power of each... Set the power of each unit on this row to the average of all units' power. Then destroy self. Okay. So... if we put out this Arbalest, and we did like 1 damage, okay? It takes 1 damage to turn even to an odd, yes. They won't move if we do 1 damage. And then he'll move up and deal 2 damage, like if we deployed him on the front row. Is that how that would work? Or we can put him down in the back row, damage this guy, and then these guys would all be up here. Either way. Let's experiment. We'll try and figure it out. So the way I think this should work, he's going to go to this back row and deal us 2 damage to the opposite row. These guys are going to come up and do nothing. Right, because we don't have anything on this front row. But if they keep switching back and forth, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. Now, where do these other guys come into play, I wonder? Damage all units on an enemy row by this unit's armor amount, then lose all armor. Okay, gains 1 armor whenever a card appears in this row. Set the power of each unit on this row to the average of all units' power, then destroy thyself. Or destroy self. So if we put this over here, the average of this, I wonder how does that round? Like if I threw this on this side. Aha! Okay, so it rounds down. Okay. Okay. Now, what happens next? Actually, if we do not let any allies die, eliminate all drowners. We have to end the turn. So he comes up, he does nothing. If I just decoy this guy back, and then play him next turn and target him. Oh, we still have to kill them all. That's right, not just reduce them all. We still have to kill them. Okay, so here's what I think we need to do. We got to put this Wagenberg down, right? Then we need to deploy these guys on that row so that he gets the armor benefit. And so he's going to go back 2 damage here. We can't let anybody die. He's going to come up and deal 2 damage to this front line, which would include these light infantry guys, which I think are 2, right?
Can't take it anymore.
Now, I assume these guys count as allies, even though they're summoned in here. And then we're gonna lose this one. So I think I think we have the right idea, but what we want to be doing is figuring out a way to get everybody on 3 on the same row in this kind of scenario, so that when we bring these guys out, he does 3 damage, and we end up killing them. Right? I think that's the right call. So we're not gonna get this round, because he's gonna kill these guys and we lose. Yeah, gotcha. Okay, so let's try this again. I think this is the right approach.
I'm a one.
We damage the back row so that when he comes up, we take less damage. Then we make the average here 3. I wonder... Oh no, we have to do that, otherwise it won't switch. So he's gonna swap back there. Then what if I decoy this? So he's back. Now if I play this guy up here, he won't take any damage when he swaps back. We can bring in... If this unit's power is even, switch rows and damage all units on the opposite row by 2. So he shouldn't be switching. There we go. He gets the armor. There. Cool. Okay. Got it. So I asked this in the comment on the last video, but a lot of these you're going to have to experiment on that first one, and then if it takes you additional attempts, so be it. But in terms of what to show you guys, what I'm thinking is show you kind of the beginning where it's learning exactly what the mechanic is, and then if I fail a bunch in between, I'll just cut those out and show you like the successful attempt, if that makes sense. I think that works for us. Because on that first one, unless we get really lucky, it's going to be pretty rare that we solve it on the first go. Letter found. Damned collectors stopped by Hawksburn again, and once again we survive by the skin of our teeth, so our beloved queen can import yet another Zerrikanian rug. Devil's take her, I say. Gather anything of worth in the cottage and wrap it greased sheepskin. Take it to the field, and among the sheaves bury it. These cursed collectors will just have to make do with what pittance we give them. Take it to the field, and among the sheaves bury it. Oh, hello. Okay, so we've got like these little piles of something out in the field. We'll take a look for that. Does it actually show... Let's see where field... I guess maybe over here could be the fields. And if we want to get a close look at it... Peasants map. So trees and then these little like huts or piles of something. And that's where the treasure would be. Oh, it's probably over in this. Yeah, right here. Cool. That's exactly what it is. We found a bunch of these chests. You discovered a card that can be used in the Gwent multiplayer card game. Look at this, 150 strength, Lippy Goodman. What's his deal? Just gonna grab the things in the vicinity here.
Off to Wetterton, are ye?
I don't know, am I?
Just the folk of beyond shite. Off to Wetterton, are ye? Bonnet.
Maybe. Let's go check it out.
As they neared Wetterton, the Queen ordered her company to halt. She then sent men to the town for supplies. Those sent returned more quickly than she'd assumed they would, their satchels empty, their mounts foaming at the mouth.
Your Majesty, the townsfolk have gone right mad. Herded all the elves and dwarves at Market Square. 'Tis a slaughter.
The Queen knew well that if she failed to intervene, the town's streets would flow with non-human blood. Just as she knew her meager force might not subdue an enraged crowd.
Intervene, defend the non-humans. So like the elves and dwarves. Yeah, we're gonna
What is your
intervene.
command, your grace?
Reynard's question pierced the silence.
What can it be, dear friend?
Answered the Queen, then spurred her mount and rode off towards the town. Her troops followed, running as fast as their legs would carry them. When they passed inside the town gate, they saw corpses lining the gutters. Meve realized she had arrived too late to prevent a tragedy.
Uh-oh.
The crowd was drunk on blood.
Uh-oh.
Its rage would need to be quelled with an iron fist.
Uh-oh. We're throwing down. All right. What do you got? Fortunately, this was not Lyria's first pogrom, nor its last. Although the wars between humans and elder races had ended decades past, elves and dwarves were still painfully aware how quickly rumor can turn to hatred. It does not take long before pitchforks and flails are taken to the streets, and the cobblestones are stained crimson with blood. We just need to eliminate all foes. It is a puzzle. Just eliminate everything. Okay. Man, the variety in these is actually insane.
Step away,
Ew.
or see your heads bounce down the cobblestones.
Okay. Every turn on turn start, set this unit's power equal to the number of angry mobs on the row. Give one charge to units with depleted order. Okay, so we gotta start with this guy.
Reynard, who started
For
this?
sure.
I must know. So much hate.
They don't seem to be playing
We
anything,
must put a stop to it.
so I think I see what we need to do. So we're gonna deal the 3 armor, we put him down, we replenish this, and then we deal the damage again. This one's a little bit more straightforward. Oh. Oh, wait a sec. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Equal to the number of angry mobs in this row. I misunderstood that. Okay, I know what we need to do, though.
We must strike the largest clusters.
I know what we need to do. We're gonna lose this one, but that's fine. That's fine. I know what we need to do. So these guys, the way that they work is we can move them
Step away,
between.
or see your heads bounce down the cobblestones.
So we put this guy out. That's
Reynard,
fine.
Who started this? I must know.
We're gonna deploy the 2, and then we're
So
gonna
much
swap
hate.
them.
We must put a stop to it.
Can't take
So
it.
like this. Okay. We're not gonna do anything just yet. Now we bring these guys up to the top. Bring in Reynard.
We must strike
Replenish
the
this.
largest clusters. Disperse the mob.
Bring these guys back down to get this up to 6, and then target them. That's cool. Okay. Awesome.
Happily, Meve restored order without suffering any losses. Reynard then learned that a nobleman's ire had triggered the violence, ire at having discovered a theft.
Suspicion fell on the non-humans he employed. He accused them, they protested, and the row soon engulfed the town. But there's something else, your grace.
Reynard gestured towards an aged man who stood grieving, his face in his hands.
I've witnesses who claim the strays of Sparla are the thieves.
Though the tragedy seemed the result of a misunderstanding, justice would have to be served. Those responsible for the slaughter would need to be punished. The question was, how severely?
I've witnesses who claim the strays of Spala are the thieves. Suspicion fell on the non-humans he employed. He accused them, they protested, and they soon engulfed the town. Have them hanged? Ooh. Whip
You are
them.
guilty. That
Chosen
can't
one
be
evil in
denied.
favor of
said
another.
the Queen,
Exactly.
turning towards the bloody rioting's instigators.
A false rumour you took and turned into a cruel lynch. Thus punishment is your lot. A public lashing, fines, imprisonment. But you shall keep your lives,
For now.
for enough blood has been spilt here this day.
I think that's, I mean, you could argue what's fair,
Wetterton's
but
inhabitants breathed a sigh of relief. But the non-human survivors took offense at the lenient sentence. Soon after, the Lyrian army's elves and dwarves quietly disappeared, deserted. Few doubted the reason. They would not risk their necks for a queen who held their lives
see,
in
that's
such
tough.
low regard.
that is really a tough call. That's what I've always loved about the Witcher series. Is it's always choosing the lesser of two evils.
They should have stayed put beneath their mount. We'd not have had no problem then. They should have stayed put beneath their mount. We'd not have had...
Okay, so there's something up here. So we're heading off in this direction. Even though I wanted to head down here, there's just so much stuff going on, you know? It's cool. Grab whatever we can. Watch the floggings occur. Looks like there's some things to the south of the town. How does one reach that? Looks like we have to go around somewhere. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Look at this.
The Lyrians entered the graveyard. Crickets chirped in its tall, windswept grass, and lush green moss covered its crumbling gravestones. Only a fresh bloodstain upon a mausoleum wall suggested that something disturbed the dead in their rest and hunted the living.
Save your tears. Throw off your grief.
An eerie voice sang, its ghastly lament standing Maeve's hair on end.
Soon your life too shall cease.
Sounds lovely.
As you pass into the eternal glow.
A pockmarked, pustule-ridden creature crawled out from behind some gravestones. It vaguely resembled a shriveled, hunchbacked hag, until its head split into two halves, forming a tooth-spiked maw.
Attack! Everyone!
Let's go. Okay, so I think this should be more of like a true... Oh, it's a puzzle. Kill the grave hag. So what exactly was the monster Maeve encountered at the cemetery? The inhabitants of Wetterton called it a mourner. They believed it be a she-elf driven mad after her children were killed. From time to time, she would return to their graves to light candles, lay flowers, and make an offering of human blood. Cool. Okay. So how do we kill the grave hag? What's her deal? So she's immune. Cannot be targeted. Every 2 turns, on turn start, destroy the lowest units. Every 2 turns, okay. And these guys, when they come out, they spawn a base copy of the unit. Death Wish, destroy all units on this row by 4. So we kill these guys to kill her, essentially. And since these guys each do 4 damage... Oh, interesting. So what we want to do is take them down one at a time. Because... let's say we took down these 2 right away. That'd be 4. These guys would... well, maybe not. Maybe it would just work because their Death Wish is destroying as well. So let's see. We only have Arbalest and Scytheman. We don't have... damage a unit by the number of cards on this row. Okay, we're not drawing any cards. And we don't have leader abilities. Okay, so I think what we do... is gonna destroy the lowest units. So we need to get this thing lower than 5 in 2 turns, which I don't think is going to happen. If I... Let me think about this. Let's start with this. We're going to target him down. What's in our deck? It's all Arbalest, right? So the question becomes, if I put this guy here, basically just as a target for this grave hag.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
Then I have an extra turn to work this. Maybe I should have done this reverse.
One bullet's all I need.
But if I get this guy down, he'll be the one that gets destroyed. Which does 4 across the board. Then if I play him in between here...
A lesson in humility coming now.
These guys get played. There we go. All right, cool. We could have done that multiple ways, but that works out.
What was that filth?
The queen croaked hoarsely as the dying monster writhed in agony at her feet.
I know not, your grace,
replied Reynard.
but to be safe, I would have the corpse chopped up and burned. Elsewise, we will not be certain it shall not return.
Yes, have it done.
Meve said, brushing her hair from her beaded brow.
But quickly, lest dusk catch us in this foul place.
The Lyrians soon resumed their march. As they left the cemetery behind them, some believed they still heard the haunting dirge upon the air. Or was it just the wind, whistling past mossy tombstones?
And the storytelling is so good. Card acquired. Meve. This card can be added to your army and can be found in the command tent, which we're definitely going to do. In the command tent, you can change Meve's equipped weapon, thus changing her ability. To do this, select Meve in the upper left corner of the panel and place one of the available cards in your deck. All right. That's one thing I definitely want to do this episode. Is make sure that we just do a little maintenance and upgrading and that kind of stuff. My queen! One of the destroyed graves belonged to an elven mage. We might find something of worth, but we should first need to dedicate sufficient resources to have the debris cleared. Yeah, do it. Minus 100 gold. We have actually quite a bit. Card fragments. So I imagine we find these, build a card, get the card kind of thing. Anything else in here? Looks like it's all clear. I'll check over in this section just to be sure. Yeah, okay, it's clear. So let's take a look at our tent situation. There's probably a few things we can upgrade. We have a decent amount of coin now. It wants us to go into here, look at Meve. So what we currently have is the longsword, which is the boost in the armor. This one, move a card in your deck to the top and strengthen it by 3, then trigger all allies' loyal abilities. So we're still going to be triggering loyal abilities, but we can move any card in our deck to the top and then boost it, which is pretty nice. So let's do this one. Now, I had misread this before. We can have a minimum of 25 cards, but we do have still a maximum over here on these rations. I don't know if we need to swap out many of these. Like we could start recruiting more of them if we want. There's a couple that I don't think really help us, like these Rivian pikemen. You know, if I were to put these guys back in the deck, even the field medics. I don't know if they're that amazing. That frees up, what, 18? So we could throw in like another Wagenberg, which is pretty helpful, but we already have 3. Or we could bring in more Arbalest for just more damage. Or War Wagons even. Because this just spawns so many units that it buffs these Wagenburgs a lot. That might not be bad. Oh, I can't. So why is it that I can't create more of those, but I could create more of the Wagenburgs? Why is that? The Wagenburg is actually the only thing I can make. And I'm trying to figure out, just by looking at this, why that's the case. I'm sure some of you guys know. Obviously, these guys are pretty unique. We could make Arbalists as well. Okay, well, I'm going to take another Wagenburg. Put him in there. Oh, the challenge is going to be that we need to have a minimum number of cards, so that might not even work. Might have to stick with this for now until we can increase these rations somehow. But yeah, I'm not sure about why we can't craft some of these and some we can. I'll have to do a little research there and see what I'm missing. But, okay, we've switched up her thing there. In terms, I guess these are the trinkets that we saw. So we have the banner. Don't have any more copies. Yeah, that's fine. No more copies, but why can't I make more? That's the real question. I don't know why I can't make more of these. So, we'll have to figure that out as we go. Okay, let's look at the workshop. Increase the number of trinkets Meve can equip. This is the thing I was just talking about. The training grounds we want to build. Provides access to training grounds, enables you to recruit new combat units in the command tent. Absolutely. So Lyrian Arbalist Plus. So they come in as 7s instead of 6. Same thing in terms of damage. Oh, maybe that's the key. Because these pikemen, we already had, but maybe we didn't have this unlocked yet. Gain a recruit after every battle won. Gain gold after every battle won. I think recruits is more important here, but it is pretty expensive. I think if we just get more units available, that's pretty helpful. So War Wagon, okay. So I think that's what's happening here. Crushing Trap, which we got in that minigame earlier. And then Forager. Destroy the unit to the right and boost self by its power. If it's an artifact, boost self by current power instead. And, okay. Okay, cool. So now if we go back to the command tent. So the Arbalist Plus, we pretty much want to replace all of these. Oh, they're upgraded. They're already upgraded. Oh. Okay, so it upgrades what we currently have. I see. We could make these if we want, but we'd have to remove maybe the field medics for crushing traps. Set the power of each unit on this row to the average of all units' power, then destroy self. So this is, I guess, good to use against the enemy more than on our side, I think. 250. Destroy the unit to the right and boost itself by power. And restraint. Cannot target bosses. It's tough to know how that would work, but I'm going to make a couple of these. In these traps, they don't even use recruits. That's kind of interesting. Don't have enough wood for that. So we'll put this one in, and we'll put one of these back in. And we'll go from there. Okay. Is there anything else in here I'm not seeing. The war wagons we could make more of. Now. Okay, so that must have been what happened then. Now we can make more of these war wagons. Which combos really good with the Wagenburg. So I'm actually going to do that. We've overspent some resources here, but I think all this meant was that we... Oh, but now I'm gonna be... I'm just a little bit over. So balancing this is gonna be tough, man. I can remove these pikemen because there's only 2 of them. It's really good if we want to put a ton of them in there, right? I need to put 3 cards in at lower cost. We'll do something like that. Crushing Trap and 2 medics instead of these pikemen. But we've got 2 of the Wagenburg. We've got 3 of the War Wagon, which combos really nice with the Wagenburg. And then the Scytheman, Arbalist, and all that. Okay, cool. What else? Mess tent. How's everyone doing?
Yes, Your Grace.
Reynard. Nothing new there.
It's time I attended to other matters.
Okay. Training grounds. Practice and improve your skills against an AI opponent. So that's literally, that's all that does. And then we just focus on the upgrades from that. Okay, cool. That's a little bit confusing, at least at first glance, for me, on how to tell what cards can be added and what can't, but... Okay, so let's head down through here. This area is blocked off, so we'll have to go all the way around.
Those bandits, dressed as demons they was, horns on their heads and pig snouts instead of noses. Beware, some bandits on thy road round Dawn, those that call themselves the Strays.
Thanks for the heads up. We've been dealing with those. Some recruits here. Hello. Can't quite get back there yet.
Beware, some bandits on thy road round Dawn.
Once we cross the bridge, we'll pop some scouts. There's a chest here we'll want to try and get to. Somehow. Milady, the march has taken its toll on the men. A brief sojourn at this inn would do them some good. Nothing improves morale quite like live music and a frosty mug of a Viziman champion. So we're already maxed out. We're not stopping. We're going to forward march here. So it marked that chest for us. Oh, no, it didn't. It marked these. The puzzle and the point of interest. Okay. So chest-wise, maybe we can get up through here.
Off to the nuptials, ma'am. Walk across this bridge here, then ride on straight as piss. An arrow.
Watch your
I'm bringing
tone.
honey for the groom and his lovely bride. May their new life prove at least as sweet. Dance till we die, or the sun lights the sky.
So we have some type of wedding going on over there.
Dance till we die, or the sun lights the sky.
Okay, let's actually go ahead.
That column of smoke.
Whoa.
God damn it! Make haste!
As the Clayton estate appeared from behind a tree line, the Queen and all in her retinue knew at once they had arrived too late. A veritable swarm of bandits milled about the yard.
Who have we here? I'll take a gander, lads. The Queen herself has deigned to come and see us.
Oh, this is the G that we've seen. He's got the little, what was this? I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was like the Duke of Dogs or whatever.
See you, then kill you.
The strays of Sparla.
'Tis you who lead them. 'Tis you they call the Duke of Dogs.
Yeah.
Aye, 'tis I they dub so. And in other pleasant ways. Prince of Pariahs, Thane of Thieves, Baron of Brigands, and Marquess of Mendacity.
Colourful titles all, yet you omit one. Common cutthroat.
I beg your pardon and cry foul. I am anything but common.
You needn't get excited, Caldwell. Where is Lord Clayton?
Sadly, my lord's no longer with us.
Great.
Turned us away, you see. Denied us hospitality. A sacred right, after all. Angered the gods mightily, I expect, as he promptly met a tragic end. Fell in the well and broke his neck.
I've heard enough. To arms! Attack!
Oh boy, let's go. Okay, we'll try out this new kind of, oh, story battle, okay. With special rules. Meve soldiers were seasoned warriors. They had served in many campaigns, fought on many fronts. Still, the strays of Spala caused them great unease. The brigands, howling like wild dogs, did not fight with ordinary sword nor spear, but with executioner's axes, boards and rusty nails, and instruments of torture, their faces concealed behind ghastly prison masks. So optional, eliminate Gascon. Hint, surround Gascon with powerful units. We're gonna have unique cards, and it's a shortened battle. Surround him with powerful units. Okay. So this lets us do averaging on the other side. I don't know how I'm going to surround him with powerful units. These guys can all get boosted, but... Oh, wait a second. He's on our side. Before turn start, if the sum of adjacent units' power is higher than self, damage self by 3. Every turn on turn start, move to a random position and damage adjacent units by 2. If the sum of adjacent units' power is higher than self. Okay, so we need to put down like a, we need to put down like Odo and a war wagon like right next to him maybe? Because then they'd be at 20. All right, let's see how this works.
Oh, lads! What say we throw this queen a ball?
The chase is on!
This is so bizarre. Surround him with powerful units, yeah. Move to a random position and damage adjacent units by 2. That is frickin' weird. Because the other thing we can consider is getting these guys all out there and boosting them all with loyal. But this gives him 2 targets that he can potentially destroy. We took this one, okay. And then we have their side to deal with. Mark a unit every turn on turn start, damage it by 1. Okay. What if I did this? What if I put this on our side? Oh, I can't at all. With spying, I have to put it over there. Okay. I thought maybe we could do something like that, but... Also have the tonic. Move to a random position and damage adjacent units by 2. I'm gonna do something like this.
This we'll be reaping black-clad heads.
I smell it. Stand back! 'Tis some alchemical concoction!
Oh, hello. What the frick?
Well, well.
Set a row on
My
fire.
Congratulations.
Well, that's great. Every turn on turn start, all units in this row have a 33% chance of taking 2 damage. It's relatively low, but... It's tough because we have no idea where he's going to jump to. But the idea that I'm thinking is we get these guys up when then we do the loyal or the tonic boost.
My spirit's willing and how, but these damn boots are killing me.
You mad? Don't shake that!
Okay, he's setting that back row on fire.
There's a time to reap, a time to sow, and a time to die.
He does seem to bounce back and forth between here. Now this guy, after 2 turns on turn start, boosts self by the power of the unit on the right, then move to the opponent's side. Okay. So now we're going to do this. Move a card in the deck, in your deck to the top and strengthen it by 3. What's our strongest card? I guess the War Wagon. And that boosts all of these guys. So now if he comes up here between these two, I mean, that's great. What else do we have? I could also... If I put this guy here... Do I have any more Scythemen? I can't look. I don't think so. If I do, I have 1 more. When does the fire happen? On turn start. Okay, I'm gonna stack him up here because if he happens to go between either here or here, we're good. There it is. Oh, we're tied. Damn it. Oh, and because this guy came in. That is really annoying. Power the unit on the right, then move back over here. So this guy is targeted, right? But I think the unit that targeted him is down. I think we'll go... We have to get him over 20, so maybe I just use the tonic. And hope that he shuffles over. I don't know if this guy's still going to take that damage because he's marked. Okay, look at this.
Shh,
what? Before turn start, if the sum of adjacent... Oh, before turn start. That's... Okay. The sum of adjacent units is higher than self. So if we're tied, I don't think... That doesn't look like it's enough.
A lesson in humility coming now.
Okay, it is, actually. Okay. So I think we've got it figured out now. We need to get them in next to him. You do a crushing trap up here to drop them all. I don't know if that helped. Jesus, that's so tough to figure out. Yikes. Actually, this is not terrible.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
He's not switching up to here, which is what we need. Now they're all low. Damn. We didn't get to kill him, which would have been cool, but we still got the victory, so yeah. That, man, there's so many things to learn as we go here. But we still won, it's just
Your Grace.
not as good as defeating him.
I can't say the same for you, I fear. You'd have done better to die in battle. Bound for Lyria now, where the hangman will have his way with you.
Splendid! I've ever wished to see the capital.
Yeah, well, you're quite sure of yourself.
Quite certain of yourself, you seem.
Many afore you have braided nooses for me, Your Grace.
Oh, you think
Yet
you're
as
getting
you
out of
see,
this?
my neck's straight as a pike.
My threats are never hollow. And if it's an escape you weigh, well, we've yet to see any man abscond from the dungeons of Lyria Castle.
I'd hope so. For to be known as second just wouldn't be worth the trouble.
Ugh. Take him away.
As soldiers placed the Duke of Dogs in shackles, there was a sudden commotion. A messenger rushed in, sweaty, gasping for air, smelling of smoke and blood. His gaze spoke terror.
Your Majesty, Graces, Nilfgaard's crossed the Yaruga.
Uh-oh.
Black-clad hordes. Villages burn. Folk lie murdered.
Nilfgaard, gods help us.
They march for Dravagrad. Prince Willem, he can't hope to arrive in time with aid. Help us. You must.
Dravagrad. Blast it all. Listen close, soldier. You're to take a fresh mount, ride hard back to your commander and say the Queen comes to repel the foe.
Your Grace, begging your pardon, our force. We aren't many. Let's send for reinforcements first. Elsewise...
Reynard, I've seen Nilfgaard's trebuchets at work. Should we delay until we're stronger, they'll leave no stone standing in Dravagrad. We must ride for the town at once.
As her men prepared to march, Meve climbed the manor's tower. Smoke rose in columns in the distance. As more black pillars appeared one after the other, she knew they meant another home, another barn, another mill was in flames. Tears welled in her eyes, yet they were tears of anger.
Bastards. If it's war they seek, it's war I shall bring them. Reynard, prepare to ride!
Got a new card, a Rivian broadsword. So another weapon for her. All right, let's clean up our mess
First
here.
bandits, now this. Misfortune does indeed come knocking twice.
In hobnail boots, tramping upon my land. Nilfgaard shall regret this. I swear on all that is sacred and blessed.
Revenge time. Okay, let's take a look here. Report. Letter from Dravagrad. Your Highness, Nilfgaardians march towards our city, burning everything in their path. They have siege towers, battering rams, catapults, ballistae, and 3 full infantry regiments. Without reinforcements, we shan't hold them off for more than a day, and we've heard nothing back from the capital, nor seen any sign of extra troops. Please, my lady, save us. Okay, and then the card that we have. So we have the longsword or the Rivian broadsword. This is a longer cooldown, but you damage an enemy unit and all other enemies with the same power by 4. Then trigger all loyal abilities. Okay, so this is probably good against like monster decks and the like. I think. What I'm really hoping is eventually we can change this. Because we can only kind of swap things as we go here. But I do like our custom deck setup. I think. I just hope it works out for us. All right. I think what we'll do is we'll take a break here. And now we know we've got some serious work to do. We got to head way over to this side. But we've got some stuff to check out over here. It said that there was like a wedding or something going on. We have a puzzle on this side, a couple things to clean up here. Let's do some scouts in the area. A couple things to pick up everywhere. And eventually we head on, looks like this path. So, yeah, wish me luck. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. And if you have any advice on what I was looking at in the decks there, I think we figured it out. We just had to unlock them at the workshop. But if I was misreading that, let me know and we'll get it sorted out. Thanks so much. Bye for now.